This is Ethan Tapper, the Chittenden County Forester, and I'm out here at the Hinesburg Town Forest to tell you a little bit more about our upcoming forest management project. So what we're doing out here today is marking trees to be cut using a paint gun. So this is a gun that we load with the special kind of tree marking paint that sticks on the trees, and we use it to designate to the logger which trees we're going to cut. And I actually use tree marking paint also to designate a few other things, which we'll talk about in a second. So if you come out here in the harvest area, you're going to see a lot of areas that are marked with a diagonal slash of blue paint and another slash on the butt of the tree. And so the diagonal slash indicates to the logger that that's a tree that we're going to cut. And the slash on the butt of the tree indicates to me, when I see the stump that's left behind after that tree is cut, that that was a tree that was marked. So I'll be supervising this job throughout this process. And I need to be able to see that the trees that I've marked are the ones that are being cut, and that the logger isn't cutting trees that aren't being marked for harvest. So other stuff that I use tree marking paint for is to designate the location of stream buffers. So it's really important that we buffer our streams to avoid disturbing them, preserve the quality of aquatic habitat and water quality within those streams. I'm also been experimenting with marking what I call legacy trees. So legacy trees are trees that were not growing to later be cut. They're just trees that were growing to be trees forever, to be big trees, to be big dead trees, and to confer to the forest all the myriad benefits of big trees. You're going to see that we are going to be cutting some large trees. We need to make sure that we're not totally removing from the forest all the benefits of those big trees. So you're going to see that there's a lot of big healthy trees and also big unhealthy trees that are marked with an L, and that L stands for legacy. The practice of marking trees is really complex, so you have to balance what we know about all of these different species of trees, how they respond to being treated differently. We have to respond to the legacy, the land use history that's here in the Hinesburg Town Forest. We have to balance many different objectives, and we also have to balance all of these things within the context of the physical constraints of the equipment that we're working with. So you can't just mark any tree you want. You have to think about, for the trees that we're cutting and that we're going to bring out of the forest, how is logging equipment going to actually get to those trees? And how are we going to do it without causing damage to a whole lot of other trees, without causing a lot of negative impacts that we don't want? So it's this skill that is developed over time, and the more that you practice it, the more that you understand how to do it really, really well. A couple of different things that we're trying to encourage at the Hinesburg Town Forest. So we're trying to encourage a really diverse, multi-aged forest, so a lot of different species of trees, and also different ages and sizes of trees. And we know that diverse forests are more resilient to the impacts of climate change. They're also more like old forests. So as forests age, they often become more diverse in the number of different sizes, ages, generations, what we call cohorts of trees that are present on a given site. We're also managing in light of the emerald ash borer. So the emerald ash borer is an invasive pest from Asia. It is sort of all around the Hinesburg Town Forest right now. It's been found in Bristol, it's been found in Colchester, it's been found in Richmond, and so we're anticipating that this pest is going to come to the Hinesburg Town Forest, and it's going to kill a lot of our ash trees pretty soon, probably in the next couple of decades. We're working in an area that has a high proportion of ash, like 20% of the trees, and so we're trying to also demonstrate to private landowners a way to manage responsibly in light of the emerald ash borer. So when you take all of these different objectives for the Hinesburg Town Forest and you combine them, what you get is a forest that's been marked as you'll see it marked on Hayden Hill East now. So we'd invite you to come out to the Hayden Hill East access to the Hinesburg Town Forest, download the Avenza Maps app, download the georeference PDF map that you can then put into Avenza Maps, and navigate through the harvest area, see what you think, and feel free to send me an email or give me a call if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about the trees that have been marked.